The U.S. Women's just kind of hits differently. It's a tournament just for us. These courses are designed to be a little bit more scoreable and exciting and just show all sides of the FPO game.
So Henna is one of the best disc throwers in the game, and she has been for years, and she still has not found that elite series or majors win. So it's, I think, a bit of an understatement to say that she is due a win. We saw Henna drain some really impressive circle 2 putts and look confident on the green. So right now I feel like she has the total package going into Championship Sunday.
It'll be interesting to see how far Emily Weatherman can climb. She is an Elite Series winner, but has only done it from chase card and maybe not the same kind of pressure as an Elite Series, let alone a major.
Hailey is really comfortable on these courses. She's gotten to play the Silver Cup A tier that's here a bunch of times in the past. The event that she won her major at, the US Women's, was in Wisconsin as well. So these are her style of courses. This is where she's feeling right at home. And if she even made half of her Circle 1 putts today on moving day, she would be ahead by a mile.
Evelina's plan off the tee is always phenomenal. She is throwing aggressive shots, putting herself in position, and she just needs to score on the putting green. And she did make some good ones. She's not looking shaky necessarily. They're not under-committed putts, but I think if Evelina's going to win this one, she needs to be sinking those putts consistently.
Really cool that we get to see players that maybe necessarily aren't always at the top of the leaderboard in contention for the win.
This sets up to be a really exciting U.S. Women's because 6 out of the top 8 women could win. It's really tight scores, and it would be their first U.S. Women's victory. So it's going to be an exciting one no matter what happens.
Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2025 PDGA United States Women's Disc Golf Championships presented by Discraft and CHaferNews.com. It's the second major of the year. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the Two Hot Geeks.
Honk.
And this is one of the most exciting setups we've seen in a long time without our expert commentary and even more expert editing on that intro. Pretty tight. But legit, I mean, anyone within the top 8 or even 10 ladies can win. Look how tight these scores are all the way down, mostly to Kristen Lett, who's Cadence only 4 strokes back. Yeah, wow, okay. It's super tight.
Yep.
Check it out.
Kristen shooting the hot round yesterday as well, and she's the furthest from the top, so you really can't count anyone out. We did have some nice calmer conditions today, starting on hole 1.
Yeah, par 4, 576 feet. We did play it in a headwind again. You can go down this tunnel if you want. You see a lot of straight backhand shots. It's definitely more of a placement shot than distance. You don't need to go huge. It's downhill at 576. You can just kind of split it up. If you're not lined up to the gap, you're going to be scrambling for par, though. It did play very difficult yesterday. I like to play either a forehand or I've seen some backhands out to the right-hand side, and then it's a hyzer. It is a blind shot, but it's way more open. Checking in immediately with Cadence Burge, it looks like she has lined herself up to the tunnel that the drone flew, and she's about 45 feet away downhill. The OB comes in very tight behind the pin. This played us like the hardest hole yesterday, didn't it? Or
yeah,
one of them?
Yeah, and I think that was mostly due to conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It was the strongest headwind we felt all day.
Wow.
Cadence going to start this one out with the birdie. We really didn't have that many yesterday. We got to see 9 today. It was a lot more attackable.
Love to see that spin. The nice thing, the wind was maybe 15 miles per hour all day, 10 to 15, but at least in the same direction.
Henna, Blomroos.
Henna, our leader for the last couple rounds. The lead changed a lot yesterday. Well, I guess in the last 2 rounds, and we've had a pretty stable lead card for a couple rounds, even though everyone's in contention going down to 8th or even 10th place. This is the right side play with the backhand.
And she makes it around the one tree you gotta miss.
Up next on the tee, we have Emily Weatherman.
I'm honestly surprised there's not like a mandatory to force you down the tunnel. I think the right side's so much easier.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I just feel like it stretches it out so much. You can still birdie?
Oh yeah, and you're not gonna hit anything if you get out there. Don't get me wrong, it's not an easy birdie, but you can get a circle 2 look at least every time.
Emily, a master of angles, is not ever going to look that way. She likes to throw down the tunnels.
Her disc flipping in the wind now.
Hailey King.
Oh, wow. What a committed shot from Hailey.
Beautiful.
The perfect height so it can grab right in the middle.
And completing our lead card, we have Eveliina Salonen.
Eveliina did this play yesterday. She pushes this one a little bit straighter and gets a little more distance. I think that looks great. I can't tell if she caught the center grouping of trees. All smiles today from Eveliina.
It was much warmer today.
Yeah.
Felt a lot more like the practice round days. Oh, Emily gonna do exact opposite of what I said, probably in spite of me.
Mm-hmm. She heard you talking smack yesterday.
Yep, and she's gonna go out and around. Eveliina lining up that hyzer as well.
That looks solid. She did go out of bounds on this shot yesterday, skipping deep side of the green. Looks like she's short today. Henna more to the right, maybe even able to see the pin. This is the ideal landing zone. And kind of lifting there, needs to check up.
Oh,
it doesn't.
Yeah, that lifted a handful of feet. Hailey so far down into this gap.
And a purist with that line.
Mm-hmm. She's got a nice little overstable shot. Gets caught up on the top of the hill. She'll be in circle 2, but she will be able to see the basket.
It looks like that shot's so short, but you do kind of want to hit the top of the hill and then skibble over.
Yeah, if you come in on an air shot, you're pretty much guaranteed to go out of bounds.
Emily gonna take the par. Eveliina, long birdie look. Oh, good looking run. Oh, Hailey. Dialed immediately. We saw her hit a ton of C2 putts at Roland Ridge and a fair amount yesterday, but mostly on the front 9. Her putting a little bit shakier on the back, but she's coming in hot right out of the gates.
Yeah,
Check out this slow
She wasn't missing by much. It was
True.
just dead center on the cage over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Just an inch or two low. What a start. And that looks like an immediate 2-stroke swing, huh?
It sure does.
Wow. Already. I bet the betting pools are going crazy over this tournament. People are losing money on this.
As we speak.
And a little bit of a spread here for our lead card. How'd that one play today?
It played as a tie for the 5th most difficult hole of the day. There were 9 birdies, so more than yesterday. I think just over double than yesterday, but still playing tough. It is a very difficult starting hole.
I think these first 2 are both very, very difficult.
Agreed. This one at 342 feet with the low ceiling and all of the trees late in the flight, this one is not necessarily on your bingo card. You just have to throw something hard either on a flex or on a pushing hyzer angle and hope you get lucky through these trees. You see most birdies with a circle 2 putt. we had a headwind on it yesterday, a very strong one, and today you could still feel it, but once you got off the tee pad and down closer to the trees, you didn't feel it as much. So you just have to kind of trust that your disc isn't going to be affected by it as it moves through the flight.
I like this play from Hailey, working the right side more than the left. That's definitely the friendlier side. She gets most of the way down there.
Yeah, if you're going to make a mistake here, you just do not want to go early left. There's just nothing over there.
There's a couple of nightmares. Pokey branches. And some nice moss, too.
Yeah, a really lovely elevated bog as well.
That's looking good from Eveliina. Again, working the right side. For the most part, yeah, you're going to be happy with par on this one. I'm sure. I'd be willing to bet not even 3 people landed in the circle. If I was a betting woman, which I am, it's my whole career.
Talking a lot about betting today.
Listen, I got a lot of money on this. And I haven't even looked at the results because I'm a purist.
If you hit early, this approach shot is not easy either. The camera is not doing that little gap justice, but you see so many second shots hit those 2 big trees on the left and right. You are correct, though. 1 person landed in circle 1 in regulation.
You owe me $1.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah, I remember agreeing
We
to
shook
this
on it
bet.
off camera.
Hailey hitting that left side tree. I hit the exact same one on my approach. Eveliina close enough, though, that she can jump putt, and that is such a big advantage on puring that initial gap.
Yeah, stress-free par on this one feels so good. I don't like this hole. I mean, I don't hate it, but I do love this green.
Yeah.
It's just pretty.
It's a beautiful green,
Yeah.
but hate the hole.
Strongly dislike. No.
Capital H hate.
Just dislike.
Beautiful green, though.
Beautiful, stunning.
The bog is really incredible,
And the
too.
dappled sunlight on the those cedars. Yes.
This played as the 3rd most difficult hole today. Yesterday, I believe it was the 2nd.
Henna, the only one probably in the whole field with a birdie look. Oh, undercommitted.
Yeah, she was the only one that landed in circle 1 in regulation. There was only 1 birdie from circle 2 from Chantel Budinsky.
Nice.
While half the field parred that one, 40% of the field with a bogey or worse.
Yeah, nice to get out of this one with a par for sure. And now it's going to start to get friendlier. And we got a 2-way tie at the top. Everybody chasing. Hole 3, an attackable par 3, 346. There is OB on the left-hand side, so you need to be careful not to fade too far in that direction and get a skip. It was a tailwind, so you really needed to get some turn on the disc past these trees and try to fight your way into the green on that turn without it stapling out. There's a little room on the right to work, but there's one final tree to miss, so you can't really just throw like a pure hyzer line. What's a tall stump called? Is there a word for it?
Yeah, because that would feel funny to just call that a stump.
It's not a stump. Just feels like you should know this for some reason.
I don't know if there is a word for that, because when ever would you need one of those besides on a disc golf course? Maybe a sculptor.
Is this a riddle? Eveliina gotta find circle 2 on her drive.
Maybe a sculptor. You see a lot of those types of things in cute little towns.
That's why you should know.
Yeah, you're right.
Sculptor at heart. Henna with a nice straight shot, gonna check up short though, about 60 feet or so. Look at them, they look so silly.
But really effective in the course design.
Yeah. Hailey in the circle, looks like, right on the edge. Beautiful shot, so controlled.
Emily trying to work that right side. Heisering just in the nick of time. Crawling into circle 2 on the heat map. That is the red hot zone.
Yeah, that's about as far as you can get working that right side. It's well done. Henna from just inside circle 2. That's just going to be a par. And a little teeny bit of work left. It's kind of awkward on that side hill. Similar story for Emily.
Yeah, it almost looked like she wasn't quite running that. Eveliina has the green light to run it with that nice backboard, but is not able to draw a medal.
Let's see if Hailey can convert from just inside. Uphill putt, not a gimme. Beautiful. She's on.
Yeah, she is. There were only 7 birdies on this one, so even though it was 342, it's a challenging angle and not one necessarily that you can put on your bingo card.
Talking a lot about bingo, which kind of feels like a form of betting.
That's maybe that's my type of betting.
Yeah.
I'm like a lower stakes better.
Oh, okay.
I'm not in the big leagues yet.
If you need a loan for some high stakes games, let me know. I know a guy. And Hailey with the only birdie on the card retakes the solo lead with that one. Oh, I love her putt. And her throw. I just like what she's doing. No one off to a super hot start yet, actually. That's surprising to see, even through 8 or 10 holes.
Hole 4, it says 411, but it is a lot longer than that in game. It's a crush of an uphill shot. The elevation change has got to be like, what, 60 feet?
Yeah.
Maybe a little more.
Feels like D-Glow.
It sure does. You go straight up the hill. You want to make sure you push far enough and don't go left or right. And even if you throw the best shot of your life, it's still a very challenging second shot. You normally can't see the basket. It sets up nicely for a forehand, or if you're going to do the backhand turnover, you got to give it a lot of height. We had a left to right crosswind up on the green, kind of helping that angle if you choose it. But being far to the left, like Hailey's trying to do here, makes this hole a lot easier.
That's so perfect. You see a lot of ladies able to get that far, but are way more pinched on the right side. Hailey's going to have a much better angle. Eveliina sending this thing.
Wow. Clearing the corner by a mile. She is going to be able to see the basket.
Yeah, definitely a better position than she was yesterday. She's a little pinned right.
Love the guy in the background with the Still Woozy shirt on. The FPO crowd is hip, honestly.
It was a good gallery out there. Henna with also a really great drive. It looks like all these ladies able to correct. Again, the wind was in the same direction and less than yesterday, so I feel like yesterday was just like a tryout for today almost.
Like on the whole course.
For the angles and everything that you need to hit. And you can see the wind was really blowing at the top of this hill. You couldn't really feel it at the base so much. Emily going to work the backhand here. That's looking really nice.
Yeah, she put some good spin on it. It doesn't give it the height that I was kind of calling for, but enough speed that it works. Henna's specialty here. She threw it a little bit too straight yesterday. Makes the great correction today and filters into the trees.
Perfect. Hailey with the standstill sidearm here. Yeah, they are making this hole look easy.
They sure are.
The advantage of the power drive on this one is huge.
Eveliina between a forehand and a backhand here. Looks like she's opting for a little chip forehand.
Look how close she is. This is not her best effort, but it's going to be all right.
Yeah, thankfully there's a lot of dense branches above the green. Catches one and drops straight down.
Emily not quite rewarded for her shot. Tricky little putt here. No
Yes.
problem. Oh my. This is looking like our first star frame of the entire weekend.
Is it really?
Yeah. Poor edge.
And that and that speaks to the difficulty of the courses. We're used to coming to US Women's and playing like lightly easier courses. I don't want to say they're just not as long maybe as what we're used to on tour, and so it does feel a little simpler, but these courses have not been easy. That's for sure.
No.
Very, very, very technical.
$50 whole to edge though. Nice star frame, ladies.
Still a tight battle here, especially on the lead card.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Hole 5, another par 4, 538 feet. A mandatory that can be tricky to hit considering it was a headwind again. You want to get something to punch straight down the gap and then ideally fade a little bit to the left, although right can work. I think the left side is just a little bit cleaner. The pin is placed down here. It's fairly open once you get past the last row of trees, but that OB kind of can come into play. And the right side rough is pretty dense too and can be really tricky. First things first, make the Mando.
This is one of the few places on the course where the wind felt the same as it did yesterday. It was a wild headwind, making this tee shot so difficult.
Yeah. Wow.
Hailey
just bouncing around.
Yeah, what a bad kick there for Hailey, and gets a little glide as well, missing that Mando line. I don't know what the ideal play is here. It's because it just feels like every shot that you could throw is high risk unless you just chuck it into the woods like we saw Hailey. Eveliina, master of disc angles, though, is absolutely smoking this disc.
It's too bad that she caught that last tree, but it's still so good. Yeah, I think riding the right side woods line is like the safest play. Yeah. Definitely not safe, though.
And it makes even getting a par difficult. There's just so many trees checkerboarded that if you land early... Wow. That's not a problem for Henna.
Awesome shot.
That is incredible.
That's hard to do in like the dead calm.
That is an amazing shot.
And that was a star beast. Cool shot.
I don't know how to emphasize how incredible that was. Emily keeping it low, which is a nice safe shot. She's not really going to be necessarily in position for a birdie. We'll see if she can pull off a miracle shot second. Hailey from the very punishing drop zone.
I did not realize this was the drop zone.
Yeah, me neither. I missed the Mando today. It is brutal.
I thought it was up closer to the mandatory. That's horrible.
Yes, it's absolutely brutal.
It can be difficult even to save a bogey. No one's saving par from there.
No.
Huh. Okay, now it makes more sense why people are going to push the right side so hard just to make the mandatory. Emily from the top of the hill making all right forward progress. It should be hopefully a simple par.
Eveliina lining up a forehand for her second shot. She's in the rough on the right side, so she cannot see the basket.
Pin high. Oh, she checked up on that tree. That's great. Hailey throwing 4 after that missed Mando. Just wants to put this close kid off the hole with a single. Uh-oh. Okay. Great shot.
Yeah, what a nice little touch shot.
Yeah, hard to do in the wind.
This drive.
Unbelievable.
She's like almost to where you could jump putt if that tree wasn't there. That is crazy. Henna showing us how she made her way to this lead card. This played as the most difficult hole of the day, averaging at almost 0.6 strokes over par.
Ouch.
Yep, only 5 birdies on this one.
Emily going for the sidearm, which we don't see from her a ton, and she leaves it short and is unable to save the par. It's a frustrating one.
Henna left herself a little bit of work here. I didn't realize how short her approach shot was. Not able to capitalize on that incredible drive.
Yeah, her putt's not really having enough power to get to the basket yet.
Oh, man.
That's a horrible break for Emily. These baskets do not like low right.
They don't like low anything.
Yeah, they don't like anything.
They don't like much, that's for sure.
Yeah. And a great birdie from Eveliina. 2 in a row.
One of only 5 today.
Wow. And another 2-stroke swing here. Hailey not getting any pars yet, just birdies and bogeys. Looking real Christmassy. And now a 3-way tie at the top through 5.
Let's check in with Cadence Burge on hole 6. She's going to take the hyzer route. There's a right to left crosswind that's going to help this push left.
Sometimes almost too much help.
Yeah,
But
and she's going to come up, I think, right around the edge of circle 1. This is a very scary putt. It's downhill. The OB is definitely close enough to be in play if you miss this basket.
And weirdly, they pick up and roll on this hill even though it doesn't look that steep. Wow.
Oh, was she not doing that on purpose?
It kind of seems like
Was that a layup?
that was an accident.
No way. Oh, man.
All right, let's see if this is on purpose. Cadence now on the 7th. Laying it up to this little gap. That stump is a great marker for a good landing zone.
She can't see the basket here. Little blind hyzer over the rough. Oh, leaving it short.
That's okay. She can lay this up right in the basket.
It's the exact same distance. Just outside circle 1. That one had to
Nice.
be on purpose.
Had to. And 2 in a row is big here. Again, no one in the top 10 really popping off at this point. Oh,
Brutal.
ouch. Emily gonna slide back to 5th. Cadence gonna take solo 4th, and she's only 1 stroke back of the lead now.
Here's the hole we just watched Cadence play. It's 326 feet, but all of these trees provide such a good barrier to getting to the basket. You have to either throw something under these branches on the right side with a backhand, or if you've got a nice distance forehand, I think that is the play. We did have a right to left wind today, though, so it can make it difficult in getting that hyzer finish that you want at the end. You also can see some big hyzers around the outside. It's just a little risky because the road is out of bounds the whole way down the fairway.
Forehand, such a good play yesterday and today with that right to left wind. Way safer than the backhand. Hard to get it all the way there, though. Eveliina, one of the best forehand throwers, putting it to circle 2.
Yeah, she put that one a little wider maybe than she wanted, but it's better than having it finish and get a big flare skip OB right.
Yesterday, this one played surprisingly difficult. I can't remember if it was like one of the harder holes or there
Yeah.
just wasn't very many birdies.
It was like the 4th most difficult hole or something. And I think it's because the OB is so close behind the basket. And it's like such a short hole that they see a lot of players being like, oh, well, I'll just run this softly. And then boom, next thing you know, you are with
Rolling
a
out of
test.
bounds.
Yeah, with a tester putt to save your bogey.
Hailey working that sidearm as well. Really too much power.
Oh my
Holy,
goodness.
That's so far. She just threw that like 375 easy.
How do you accidentally throw a forehand that far?
I think her and Ella probably just have this crazy distance that looks so effortless on the forehand. It's wild. I'll never understand their problems.
Me neither. Emily doesn't quite put that wide enough hyzer angle on it she did yesterday. She's going to have a little bit of an approach here. Oh, that's great.
Nice forehand. Good correction off that last layup that ended up short.
Only 10 players got to circle 1 in regulation on hole 6. You see a lot of these little short approaches.
It's funny, it's less windy today, but it almost looks more.
On this hole, it definitely was more windy.
Yeah, okay.
It was a little bit more of a tail than just a right to left,
That's
but
true.
I feel like it was much windier on this one and on the last hole. I feel like both of those tee pads were more windy.
Probably depends the time of day you came through as well. We're not used to having such a large spread and a large field of FPO, so most of the time if you play in the morning and or lead card, it's going to be the same conditions, but this whole tournament, like, you never know. The wind switched up a lot.
Also, I think being right on one of the Great Lakes can make for some wild conditions.
Hailey going to take another bogey after that OB stroke, unable to save the par.
Shout out to Ember Simonis for parking this hole.
Nice.
What a shot.
I played with her yesterday. I'm sure she threw the forehand.
Another check-in with Cadence on hole 9. Just a dead straight par 3.
Wow.
And that is perfect.
Gorgeous. And Cadence keeping it bogey free. Looking like 4 down through 9. Good awareness.
The caddy control. Checking in again. Continuing to follow Cadence Burge.
Oh, she's going big off the tee here, getting all the way up the hill. Impressive shot.
Wow, that is so impressive. I tried that a bunch in practice. It takes some distance.
And it doesn't really pay off unless you truly get all the way up. And even then, she doesn't really have an eagle look, but it's going to be another easy birdie, it looks like.
And that certainly did make it an easy birdie for Cadence. It's going to put her in the lead now.
Yep. Yeah, a few holes ahead, but solo lead.
Look at Cadence right now, 5 down with the current hot round moving up into solo first place.
Hey y'all, this is Kale Laviska. I'm here at the Preserve and I have the second JomezPro Tour Series disc of the season, these beautiful swirly cicadas. I just got introduced to these on Tuesday in my practice round and it turns out it's pretty much the disc that I've been missing right here. This is a nice hyzer flip fairway driver. So with this being a 7-speed, fairly understable, if you have that 300, 320 feet of maximum power, this is gonna be a great disc for you because it's got so much glide. I'm able to flip it up and get, almost 400 feet with this thing. But if you don't have a lot of arm speed, this will be perfect for you because you can kind of turn it over and let the disc just glide for you. People have been telling me how much they like the Cicada from Discraft, and I've just been slow to throw it because there's so many discs to try, but I'm glad I did on Tuesday because this is instantly in the bag. If you want to get your hands on one of these beautiful cicadas, you can find them at JomezPro.com.
Hole 7, a par 4, 481 feet. We saw Cadence birdie this one. It is eagleable, though we haven't really seen it. You want to swing something out wide right. You do need to be careful that you do come in back in bounds, though, if you go out, because if you don't, you have to take it back really far. You can either lay it up to the gap near that stump, like Cadence did, or try to make it through. Anything that's not totally centered to the gap, you might still be able to birdie. It's not a super far second shot, and it's downhill, but it can be a little bit scrambly and tough. Didn't feel a whole lot of wind on the tee on this one. Oh, this is massive. Holy.
Whoa.
She almost goes around those trees.
She had a hard time in the rough yesterday on the short side of the gap, and she said, you know what? I'm not going to deal with that today.
I don't know. It can be rough in there if she's
I know.
deep in that tree, though. I like the aggressive play, though. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Similar positioning to where Eveliina had a little bit of a hard time yesterday, but usually you can manage a little forehand out regardless of where you are in that rough. Emily putting this one out a little wide, but it comes back right at the telephone pole.
Just a hair shorter than you'd like to be. Hopefully far enough away from that pole to be able to get a full swing.
Hailey taking some off here. She could, I feel like, very easily get up and down from the tee, but she's okay with a pretty straightforward little birdie here. She'll be right behind all of that rough, but very good at those little forehand touch shots. Emily is away from the pole and is lining up the hyzer through this little gap.
Looking good. Fade. Gonna be a little bit of a comebacker, though this green is fairly calm as well, so she'll have a fair shot at it. Hailey showing us the little step out sidearm here. Needs a little bit of turn on this disc. Ooh, I like this. Nice tall line. Needs to stall out. Can she see?
Bush with a really nice approach. Oh man, I thought it was a lot closer than that.
She just clipped that first branch, I think.
Yeah, not quite enough room to swing.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, this is bush. That was bush light.
Yeah.
And Eveliina gonna find the circle with that one.
Let's see if Henna can drain a circle 2 putt, and doesn't even give it much. Just want to keep this one at a par.
I wonder if they're aware that Cadence has taken the lead.
You know, I
I
don't
always want to know if they're looking.
I know Eveliina checks scores the whole round. Sometimes she'll even watch the live broadcast during her rounds.
Yeah, I feel like that shouldn't be allowed, but I mean, it is.
Yeah, it definitely is. Wow.
Oh, yes, Hailey.
So pretty.
Who needs pars?
She worked out the kinks on that putt from yesterday's round, and look at this Jomez. So pretty.
Fantastic.
Like, I feel like you can't have a putt like that unless you like do it in the mirror. Which, how do you even do that? You know, how do you work that out? It's just, the form is perfect.
It is perfect.
Eveliina kind of skibbling through the right side chains. A good effort.
And this one played as one of the easiest holes yesterday. I'd imagine one of the easiest today. So surprising to only see Hailey convert on this one.
Easiest hole again today. Averaging at a quarter stroke under par. One of only 3 holes to average under par today.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
And Hailey, Eveliina, and Henna all at 14 down, one behind Cadence, who's through 10.
Hole 8 is an interesting little hole. It's one where you have to make a decision on whether you want to take a chance through the trees, doing a little gentle turning shot or a forehand through that gap where you see the wood chips, or the old shank and flex up the right side. You can't see the line from the tee, so you just have to trust that if you turn your disc over to the right with something overstable, that it will hyzer out to the left. Yesterday, the only shot we saw getting into the bullseye was one that got lucky through the trees. It's definitely not an easy shot. It's one you're kind of throwing and hoping a little bit.
Hailey pulling this forehand too straight.
She'll be in the open at least, and it'll be a long look for birdie. There's so many places on this fairway where you don't have the opportunity to putt because the trees are so tightly packed together.
I'm surprised to see so many forehands. I just haven't seen it work at all, you know. Eveliina going to come up short left. I know it can.
Maybe it just feels like a safer play.
Yeah.
Henna going to try that turning shot. Not quite early enough.
See if Emily can lace this one. By lace, I mostly mean shank.
Legit.
Yeah, it really needs to start turning early, and that's a little low and not quite early enough. No one on the dance floor.
Yeah, even after some practice rounds, I still haven't quite figured this hole out. And yeah, look what Eveliina's working with here. There's not really one good gap.
Early right's great. I don't know.
It can be hard to get over there.
Yeah. Just really good at shanking them, so I think it's easy.
I tried so hard to shank it today.
You're not capable. And I'm going to lay up to 15 feet or so. Wow. Some surprisingly tricky approaches through here.
Yeah, I think people are doing that forehand to try to get to where Hailey is.
Yeah.
It does open up a lot if you can just get past all of those trees.
Fair point. Hailey going to get her first par of the round, looks like. Eveliina working for her par here to try to keep it bogey-free. Solid effort.
Look how pretty the sun looks on those trees.
I am.
It's really nice.
It is really nice. Good par save from Emily. Nothing at all to make fun of about that. Henna for her par save. She was a little bit farther than I thought. Another just not quite fully committed putt. Had good powers to the left side.
Yeah, and this 268-foot hole is oddly challenging.
An exciting tap-in. And couple bogeys, couple pars on this shorter par 3. It is very technical with a lot of danger, but still surprising.
This is one of those holes that you could play like 1,000 times and you get 500 bogeys. It's just such
Fair
a weird.
enough.
It's such a weird hole.
It is odd. We don't really play anything like it. And our last hole in the front nine is a par 3, 277 feet, dead straight. It's a fun shot. It's at a distance we all can reach. It's a very fair line. Just do it, you know? I like a mid-range, straight mid. You see fairway drivers. You see whatever you feel like. Whatever you can throw straight, 275 feet.
Yeah, I love this hole. Maybe it's just the fact that we get to be right next to the lake. I don't know, but it's just such a fun shot.
Yeah, the lake certainly doesn't hurt.
Also, we just don't get to pull out our mid-ranges very much on tour and throw a nice little fun straight shot.
I know, I feel like the straight shots we have to throw, it's like, okay, 360 feet dead straight down a tunnel. Enjoy.
Have a really fun time. Also, if you go off the fairway, you're done. Here, you do have a little room to scramble. It's still tough. Then you just look left and out over Lake Michigan, and all is right.
The Pelicans carry your troubles away. Great shot from Emily. Eveliina pretty much ace running this one yesterday. She's going to come up just outside the circle. It's a solid shot. And Henna 1 over now. No longer in the lead. Looking to get some green. That is not it.
Henna forced to do a little scramble. And what a nice approach shot.
Yeah, at least it's a stress-free par.
Hailey with another long putt for birdie. Oh, man.
Solid run.
I like the little mischievous look.
Eveliina just outside. Good height, good commitment. Misses just a bit right. Emily just off the top for her birdie.
Kind of some difficult putts here on this card, even though it was the 3rd easiest hole of the day. There were only 18 birdies, only a quarter of the field getting this one. So it's fun because we know we can all get it, but it is a good challenge nonetheless.
There was no cut, which we might have mentioned before.
My goodness.
Eveliina splashing all over that basket.
Yeah, the full 78-person field playing today.
Man. And I mean, I think we spent a long time getting interviewed and saying there's no way we could call it, but we really couldn't have called it through 9, Cadence through 10. Gonna be our solo leader for now. Let's check in with her again. She's on the 11th. You want to get past these trees up to the top of this hill if you can. She gets caught up a little early. Ooh. She's not in position to birdie from here.
Ooh, but really, a nice
it's
angle.
A good shot.
Yeah. Gets up and over the hill. Even gives herself a long look. And that's a really smart play here. It's easy to add up strokes on the screen.
Yeah, staying bogey free and just getting a few more birdies is gonna put Cadence in contention to win this thing. Pretty wild. Cadence leading by 1 over Hailey King. Henna Blomroos 2 back. Eveliina Salonen 3 back. And Kristen, jumping up. She's 2 down. 4 back of the lead. You can read this.
Yeah, it's not surprising to see Cadence jump up. I think this year we've seen her kind of suddenly, explode onto the scene, of course, but also as of late, she has been popping off 1,000 rated rounds left and right.
True.
At little A tiers, and just like Elite Series events. She's just been stringing them together really well. I feel like something has changed in her mental game, but all of a sudden, Cadence really knows how to score and knows how to protect the birdie. So very excited to see what she does on the back 9. And of course, what our lead card is doing as well. It's still so close.
Very tight.
We got 9 more holes. They're very difficult, exciting holes here at Silver Creek Super Layout for Championship Sunday. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.